Hey guys, so that was the really cool symmetrical diminished scale. It's great in 2-5-1s. It's great to play modally as I just did on C7. I'm going to show you everything you need to know about it, and you can start practicing it and adding it to your color palette. It's really a dark, beautiful, inspiring sound. So let's go. Okay. So first thing, I'd like to show you how to think about it in terms of mapping it on the guitar. It's a symmetrical scale, which means it's ruled by two intervals. You start, for example, on C, and then you just move by a half step, and then you move by a whole step, and then you repeat that pattern of half step, whole step like this. Okay, so I'm either moving a fret up or 2 frets up. And the resulting notes are C, E flat, C, D flat, E flat, sorry, E, F sharp, G, A, and B flat. And the numbers, which is really the interesting part, are super dominant numbers, which 1 and the flat 9, which is dark and altered, sharp 9, dark and altered, natural 3, sharp 11, F sharp, G is the 5, and A is the 13, which is a surprise because it gives you that combination of the natural 13 and the flat 9 and the sharp 9, which is so exciting. Okay, so it's a super cool sound. Let's get to work. First step, mapping. And it's tricky, take your time. So if I'm in C7 symmetrical diminished, what I'll do is I'll start on the lowest note that's not open, in this case F sharp. And I'll play 4 notes on each string like this. Then I will learn to play pretty much vertical positions, kind of 3 notes per string, although I sometimes play 4 notes on the 4th string. It's kind of like this. Okay, and the good news about finding positions for these things is that once you know how to start on, for example, C and on D flat, the rest of the positions are literally copies of the original position. So if I'm starting on C, it'll look just like starting on E flat or on G flat. So it's completely symmetrical, so you basically only have to learn 2 scale patterns. I would also recommend, it's a little crazy, but learning it in 2 notes per string. It's also exciting. All kinds of surprising patterns can emerge from that. Okay, so your first step is basically playing that symmetrical diminished scale. And just playing it really slowly, you can have this in the background for the mood. Okay, just to get into the positions. Now let's go deeper. And it's tricky, but it's fun. I really suggest learning the intervals. And the intervals have interesting patterns. They either repeat on any scale degree or repeat any 2 scale degrees. Let me show you what I mean. For example, if I'll be doing seconds, diatonic seconds means I'll start on a scale degree. In this case, I'll start on E, for example, move up 1 scale degree from E, which is F sharp, and I'll get this pattern. See, it looks like this. And I always analyze these chords because it helps me think about them. What I see here is 1 and 7 of F sharp 7, like this. Really helps me to see that shape. And if I move 1 scale degree to the F sharp and its partner, which is G, again 2 notes from the scale, this reminds me of G major 7 because I have 1 and major 7. So to me, it's like moving 2 chords. Dominant chord, in this case F7, moving half step, and making a major 7 chord. So I'm really playing a scale here. This is my tonic. F sharp, G, A, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, E. And here I'm adding the relevant chords. So this is a pattern of two types of intervals, a seventh, like F7, and a major 7, like G major 7. So it sounds like this. Okay, I hope that's clear. And that's really, really cool. Let me get some volume for my guitar. Excuse me. Okay, so let's continue. So now if I have this pattern that I just showed you, that was like the case of the diatonic second. Now check out the diatonic third, because it's interesting. If I do diatonic thirds, it means a note and one that is a third or two notes above it. For example, if I start on E flat, then I will get something that looks like E flat minor or a minor third. And this is a static pattern, meaning the shape doesn't change. It stays like a minor chord all the way through. So I'll be just moving through the scale and not moving the way the hand is shaped. Okay, so this pattern is actually fully automatic the whole way, meaning you do not have to change your hand position while doing this interval. This is fun because you get all kinds of free stuff. Kind of fun and inspiring. And I suggest doing this with all intervals. So I showed you how to do a diatonic second, which is the first neighbor. I showed you how to do a diatonic third. You can, of course, continue with thirds. Or should I say diatonic neighbor of a fourth, all the way up to sevens. Okay, so that's the first idea. Just follow the intervals and find easy names for them. I'll just give you one more example of how not to get fooled, because it's kind of funny. So if I do, like, for example, diatonic fourths, which totally look like major thirds, and I try to move this pattern, it'll look like major third. This looks like an E flat to me because it's 1 and 3 of E flat, and this absolutely looks to me like 1 and 5 of A. So that's the pattern I'm having of two major chords, but it's flipping. Sometimes the tonic is on the bottom, the other time tonic is on top, and that's the pattern. Okay, it's really great licks can come from this. Okay, so once you've studied the intervals, check out the crazy chords. Symmetrical Diminished is incredibly rich in chords. I'll do them from small to large. It has diminished triads on any scale degree. These are all diatonic to the scale. It's pretty wild. It has minor triads, which repeat in a pattern of minor thirds. And if I try to find the middle note, it'll do something pretty funny. It will actually turn to a major chord in inversion. Okay, so all I did is I played a minor chord, and then I moved each note to the next scale in symmetrical diminished. C goes to C sharp, E flat goes to E, and then I get this pattern of combining a triad Okay, so that's the minor triad, which is a really fun starting point. You can actually start from the major triad. For example, if I start on C and move each scale degree up, so C goes to C sharp, this E goes to F sharp, and G goes to A, and you get from this pattern of a second inversion minor chord, right? So dark. Okay, so it's really packed with these chords, like the major, minor, and diminished chords. You can have a lot of fun just soloing on these arpeggios of these weird chords and moving them up in thirds. In bebop, they do this a lot. This is really a lick of just a major triad. In bebop, they do this a lot. This lick. It's a fun, beautiful lick, and you can have a lot of fun with it. One final trick I want to add on the harmonic side is I really love doing this wild pentatonic shape, which really is, what I'm really doing here is like a B flat minor, a 1, flat 3, and 11, and I'm really repeating the pattern up a tritone. I know the stretches are crazy, but you can do it another fingering if you like. Another tritonic pattern is doing like C major and F sharp major. Okay, it's a really, really enjoyable scale. So just to end this on a fun note, let me show you a fun blues I wrote, which is using strictly diminished, except one secret note, which you can enjoy the challenge of finding. This is the blues. It's just a B flat blues. And here's the melody. So, okay, so what I did here is basically I used for the dominance this pattern. And for the E flat I use. And back to the B flat, same pattern. And for the F I use that pentatonically I showed you. And for the E flat, same pattern. And same pattern for the B flat. And for the end, I used intervals, like on the F7 I did, which is basically sixths in Symmetrical Diminished. So it's a really wonderful, inspiring scale. I sincerely hope you learn it, and I hope you've enjoyed this and it will help your playing. And thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye, guys.